stage. Now, I want to know, how many of you watched my first stand-up video? Alright, so that wasn't a very good response. I'll post it in the description below so you guys can catch up. Now, after my last video, I felt a little bad making fun of my vegan friends. So, I ended up inviting them over for a 100% plant-based dinner. And we were all having a really great time until one of them asked me what type of plant. And I told them it was fresh from the meat packing plant down the road. Yeah, I haven't actually talked to them since. So no more vegan jokes tonight. After the last video, I did receive a lot of comments, and I have to say, some of them were just downright mean. One of them said, like, better keep your day job. Now, do they really think that I'm doing this for a living? I mean, I would go broke if I was doing this for a living. The only thing worse would be if I was a starving artist working in my basement. Now that I think about it, this whole COVID shit, it probably hasn't changed their lives at all. Now, one of my favorite cousins, so she had commented on my last show, and she said I always make her laugh. I mean, I really appreciate the gesture, but the reality is I do this because I think it's funny, not the other way around. But if you enjoy it, it's just a side effect of this disease that I have. The fact is, if you hated it, that only makes me want to do this even more. Now, she's exactly like me. We're two peas in a pod. So, for a while, my wife actually refused to watch my last stand-up video. She said it was because she just doesn't find me funny, unless I hurt myself. So, I suppose I should probably go on camera and start, slitting my wrist just to get a rise out of it. But she finally watched it, and her comment was, she said I was trying to be too funny. Now, I'm not sure if she knows the point of what a stand-up comedian is supposed to do, but that's like telling a therapist, you are trying too hard to help people. Alright, where are all my cat people out there? Where are my cat people? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Those are the ones that claim cats are smarter than dogs. Well, I'm actually more of a dog person myself, but I don't mind cats. We had a stray cat wandering around our neighborhood, and even the local Chinese restaurant didn't want it. But I wasn't gonna let it in my house, but I decided to start putting food outside on the front porch, help fatten him up a little bit. And it was nice. He'd come around the same time every single day, get his food. Now, as it got closer to the holidays, I really couldn't afford to keep feeding him. And that very same day, he came to my door. And I swear I heard him say, Hey man, you may have forgotten to feed me today. I explained that, because of the holidays and money being tight and all, that I wasn't going to be able to feed him for a few months. Now, do you think this cat actually said, nah, you know what, it's cool, man, I understand. I appreciate the 3 months that you fed me. And, hey, maybe I'll see you in the spring. No way. No. This cat scratched my face and said, you're an asshole. Thanks for letting me starve to death. I went inside the house and came back out with my breakfast and a warm cup of milk for him. So, anybody watch the Macy's Thanksgiving parade this year? Yeah, they had to They had to televise everything. No one could actually go to the parade this year. But I think my favorite part was when Al Roker was reporting live from in front of Macy's. And he said, "Hey, we're all having a great time out here today." And he motioned around to the streets. I mean, who was he even talking about? Like his 3 cameramen? He's probably asking himself, like, where did my life take a wrong turn? I'll tell you. 2020, my friend. 2020. So, how about the dog show? That Thanksgiving dog show. You know, I'll never actually understand why a poodle would ever let someone shave them like that. I mean, what, are they born without teeth or something? The worst part is that they don't even know how weird they look. Because they've grown up sheltered with everyone telling them how pretty they are. Now, I know some people that are also that way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just take a trip over to Walmart. But I love dogs. I do have to admit, though, you know, they are a little dependent. You know, just the other day while I was making my coffee, my dog was standing in front of the food bin. She has to remind me like 3-4 times a morning, because I'll forget, you know. But I truly believe that if I did not open up that container and put a scoop of food in her bowl, she'd probably starve. She would starve. She is so dependent. And I've met a lot of people that are just as dependent as well. So who here has teenagers? All right, a couple of us, right? So before all this pandemic stuff shut down the entire world, I was at the mall, and I observed these 2 teenagers. They're on an escalator, and they were about halfway down when suddenly it stopped moving. And you should have seen the confusion on their faces. A few seconds later, they pull out their cell phones, and I overhear one of them say, "I don't have a signal." Another one started screaming, "Help!" The teenager's brain just does not allow them to think outside the box. Like, you know, why don't you just walk down the escalator? Because it's not supposed to work that way, man. So how many of you guys out there are married? How long have you been married? 2 years. 2 years. You got a long way to go, brother. Long way. So for those of you that have actually been married for a while, you're going to be able to relate to this one. So my wife will say things such as, "Guess what we're doing tonight?" Now I know she's not referring to the same thing that we used to do when we were in our 20s. But I still respond with excitement. Like, "What?" She goes, "We get to clean up the basement!" And you guys know exactly what I mean. It's not the we, it's the me that gets to clean up the basement. No excitement. And you know, the longer you're married, you start thinking that the other person will just know what you're talking about. So you don't really have to be very descriptive during your conversation. For example, the other day my wife says to me, "Do you think that's dead?" I gotta say, at this point, there's a lot of things running through my head. What's she talking about? And then she points to a potted plant down in the middle of our kitchen floor with stiff brown leaves. Oh yeah, I think that one's a goner. But you know, I guess sometimes people just need reassurance in their choices and decisions. Now my wife does have some amazing talents. You know, she's the only person I know that can kill a cactus. It takes a lot to kill a cactus. Now every now and then for work, I would fly out and travel. And I remember for the first time flying out to Denver, Colorado. My son asked me if that was out west. I said, yeah, it's out west. And he got super excited. And he asked me to bring him a cactus from Denver. Well, I didn't really have the heart to tell him there were no cactuses in Denver. So I visited the botanical gardens out there, and I stole him one. And poor kid's gonna grow up and visit Colorado someday. And he's gonna think I fucked up the ecosystem by not recycling a tin can. And next time I'm just gonna tell him to Google it. You know, and Google's a really smart company. So they provide free Google products to schools. Don't applaud them. Don't applaud them yet. This is just so kids have no idea how to use Microsoft products. You know, I thought it was a pretty good business move. But now that our kids are at home, remote learning with their parents, the parents are like, what in the hell do you mean you don't know what PowerPoint is? They don't know anything about Microsoft products. Was that from the 80s? What was that from? Now, my son, he's been remote learning for, I don't know, last month or two here from school. And we had to make some adjustments at home. We set him up with a Google Calendar. And I was able to sync that with Alexa for reminders. Now, his first class every single morning is physical education. I'm sorry, for those of you that have already graduated, I mean gym class. So anyway, on his Google Calendar, we abbreviated it as PE. Now, I didn't realize that Alexa can't say PE. So this morning I'm getting my coffee ready to head down to the basement to work. And I hear Alexa say, reminder, you have pee starting in 10 minutes. And I'm like, damn bitch, I can't wait 10 minutes. I gotta pee now. But you know what? I did appreciate the reminder. So thank you very much for watching. And make sure you hit that like button and drop a comment. I will see you all next time.